Hello. It's the best damn Illini postgame show from No One Asked Us. He's Craig. I'm Logan. That sucked. I do want to address Jay's comment right there, but we'll get to that in a second. But first, Julie Chen. But first, get in the chat. Let us know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. Get in on the conversation. We'll be here for a little while, but probably not too long because just awful.
Just why?
Why? Why am I here? Why am I here? Hey Craig, how are you?
206 days till football season.
We're a basketball school, Craig.
Are we?
Okay. Illinois falls in Piscataway, 82-73. Logan, your mom went to bed. Yeah, I don't blame her. Yeah, it was a really ugly first half of basketball for Illinois. Second half was better, like from a point standpoint, significantly better. But it wasn't exactly a clean half of basketball either. But things did turn around at least. So we have that. I thought maybe we were going to have the same halftime adjustments, tell them stop shooting the three, figure some things out. Didn't really happen. I mean, it did, but it didn't. They still shot the threes. They made a couple more in the second half than they did in the first. Rutgers isn't very good. Rutgers has two really good players. And those two players put up a lot of points. Illinois, on the other hand, was fairly inconsistent outside of Will Riley's 20 points. Morez was great, his 11. Ben Humrichous showed signs of life, 14 points from him. I don't know where Kasparis Shakashonis has been. Trey White didn't play. He's under the weather or something. I'm just annoyed. I don't. I saw your tweet referencing the USC game and Kylan's voodoo thing. I didn't even realize that was the thing. But you're right. That's really where the season turned, and everything since then has just been a giant cluster. Fuck.
I mean, the thing that correlates with that is that that's the first game KJ missed. Like they were in a flow. They had just beat Penn State by, or no, that was the second game because KJ missed the Penn State game.
Yeah.
Second game. So, but I mean, that's kind of where it all started. But yeah. Sorry, you were.
No, you're fine. Again, kind of go over numbers here. I kind of touched on Will Riley, 20 points off the bench for him. Also, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Ben Humrichous, 14 points. Morez Johnson, 11 points. Those are the only 3 Illinois scorers in double figures. Kylan Boswell, 6 points, 10 rebounds tonight. That's something of note. Thomas Slavovicic, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Also rolled an ankle or something. Mm-hmm. That wasn't great. He wasn't himself after that happened. We'll have to see what further evaluation is on that. Hopefully it's not much to be concerned about, but it is something. And then on the other side, of course, Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey combined to put up 40 points of their own. They scored pretty much half of Rutgers' points in the game. As far as like the other numbers, Illinois was 6 for 28 from the 3-point line tonight. They made 2 3-pointers in the first half, and they made 4 3-pointers in the second half. This is just not a good 3-point shooting team. I think we just need to move past that. I don't think those changes will happen, but it is what it is. Illinois was 13 for 19 at the free throw line. They put Rutgers at the free throw line 34 times. 34 times. And they made 28 of those. Rebounding battle was about the same. Illinois had some good second chance opportunities, some good offensive rebounds in the second half. That's really what helped drive that comeback. But those numbers were essentially the same. 34 bench points for Illinois to Rutgers 11. Illinois won the points in the paint battle, 30-24. Illinois had 3 blocks in this game. Are all of those Tommies in the first
Yep.
series?
Yep.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's where I'm at. What do you got? Thoughts?
Why should I care about the rest of the season? Does this team have potential to go to the Final Four?
No. No. Yes, but no.
Which one is it?
Do they have the potential to go to the Final Four? Yes, I do still believe they do. I don't think that's really very likely at this point. Had you asked me a month ago, I would have said this team was well poised to make that sort of run. And while I do think they're capable of it, we haven't seen that team in a month and a half almost. So I don't know. We can blame whatever we want. Illness, sickness. You good? What's going on in your house?
It's raining here, so it sounded like thunder, but I think the heat just kicked on.
Gotcha. You can blame it on illness, sickness, officiating, whatever. Illinois just has not been the same since they came back from that West Coast swing. So, welcome, K-Block. Yeah, it's just.
I don't know if you mentioned. Sorry, I've been doing this, getting this screenshot up here and looking at stats and stuff. Did we mention that Trey White was out?
I did touch on that. Yes, Trey White was out, sickness, something. I don't know. I'm assuming. I think they referenced it maybe once on the broadcast. I thought at one point I saw him coming into the game, but that didn't actually happen. He was listed as questionable on the injury, whatever report that they released before the game starts. So I guess that shouldn't be surprising. But no, Trey White did not log a single minute tonight. Craig has ghosts in his house.
Now the lights just flickered. That is thunder.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like your air. Are you okay? Do you need to seek shelter?
Okay. I don't know.
All right.
Power, so you might be by yourself.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, we're just going to go home. Yeah, real quick. So, go back to the comments. The very first one, I believe it was Jay's comment. I do want to touch on Jay's comment before we get into the other ones. Jay said here, never seen a potential great Illinois team go down the toilet in a month. Wow. True, but also 2 years ago. It just happened in February. Now, I'm not saying that team was better than this team, but literally we've been talking about this for a little while now. Like, that team was also at about 16 wins going into February and then went 500-ish the rest of the season and just absolutely fell apart. This year's team, that happened in January. So we have kind of seen it. I do think this team is more talented than that team was, but we have made these connections before to 2022, 2023. So that just kind of reminded me of that. What else we got in the comments? Who else is here? I see Michael's here. I see.
Do I have this record right? 15-8.
That Illinois record?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would tell you if
I think that's right. 2 years ago, the team was 16-6. 16 and 6.
15-8, yeah.
And then they lost 7 of their last 11. So, I mean, this... And I almost tweeted that during the game, that I've tried to stay... I don't want to say I've stayed away from the comparison. I just didn't fully see it. And I still don't think it's apples to apples. I think it's a similar path to a similar season.
Correct.
On a different road, I guess.
For sure.
It's I don't think it's isolated to Illinois. I think this is the world that we live in with the transfer portal. You're
Correct.
bringing in 7 or 8 guys that don't know each other, and whether it works or it doesn't. Right now, it's not working. It's not working. So, I just think we have to get used to it. Okay, go ahead. Do you have something else?
Well, no, I was just going to say, I mean, we can talk about some of the good at least. Will Riley continues to really emerge at a time where the other star freshman who had been the talk of the town for the first half plus of the season, KJ's kind of gone into a hole lately. But Will Riley has not. Will Riley has now put up double-digit points for the last 3 games. And when you don't factor in the 2 games that he was under the weather, there's another one up there too. So he's really coming together, I think, a little bit. I think he's starting to shake some of that newness, jitters, freshman wall stuff off. That's good. Morez Johnson's really putting some things together here too. I like the 2-post setup. I don't know defensively that it works, but offensively, you'd love to see it. I really like what we're seeing out of Will right now. I just wish we could get Will and KJ clicking at the same time. I'm not sure. Have we had that much at all?
I was reading.
I don't know where KJ's been. Let's just go. We've talked about the positive. Will Riley's been great. Where the hell is KJ?
Yeah, this kind of lines up with my thinking from Jim. Are we going to find out sometime soon that KJ has needed surgery on his wrist and only came back because he is a perceived one and done and needs to show for the scouts? Might explain his slide. I don't know anything about that. I don't know that that's the case. I just know something since the injury has been off. He has not been the same. And it could be the injury. It could be, he's not fully healthy. It could be mentally. It could be he started seeing all the draft buzz and started pressing a little bit. I don't know what it is, but something is messed up. And I think your dad also said it. What was KJ's plus minus? It seems like we are better without him. The last 2 games this team has been.
Yeah.
You can't deny it. The last 2 games, this team is better when Kasper Siakachonis is on the bench. He has contributed nothing.
Yeah.
He was -6 tonight. I also had this saved, but I don't know if people like my analytic mind, so I wasn't going to go too far into it. But I screenshotted the analytics.
It's not about the people; it's about you, Greg.
Yeah, this is our show. What the hell am I talking about? Just looking at it, you can see who the worst player on the floor was tonight. Just look at that top section, Illinois overall player analytics. 1 player was minus in the negative. I guess 3 players were minus in the game score, but 1 player glaringly analytically was just atrocious tonight. Actually, all 3 of your starting guards were bad. None of them played particularly well. Gibbs-Lawhorn, Boswell, and Yakachonis. So I don't know what it is. I don't want to speculate on anything, but something since the injury, he hasn't come back from it.
What games did he miss?
He missed Penn State and USC, and then he only played 9 minutes against Michigan State.
So, okay. So, yes. So, yes. All right. So, since the Michigan State game, he had 21 points against Maryland. He had 11 against Northwestern, 18
It's not even that,
Nebraska. Though. Oh, I know. It's not just that. I know. It's other things. Trust me. I know that. I'm just looking at his production, at least providing something. But no, it's absolutely something else has been off too. I mean, the lackadaisical, just seeming way out of it. I don't know. It's I don't want to get into speculation, conspiracy corner, but wouldn't be shocked if something like we alluded to is happening, but I don't know. Yes, Tim, his team is very young. So we shouldn't be surprised by the ups and downs. Of course, this is it's right.
It's February.
I don't care.
You can only use the "it's young" excuse for so long. This team has played 25 games together.
Are freshmen / never played college basketball before.
Did you? I noticed it, and I didn't have time to get a picture or tweet it. Of the 10 starters tonight, 7 of them, it's their first year in college basketball. 3 for Illinois and 4 for Rutgers. Rutgers starts 4 freshmen. Illinois started 2 freshmen and Ivicic, who's a sophomore, but it's his first year here. 7 of the 10 were first-year college basketball players.
I think what this is really going to come down to, and we've kind of already known this, but I think it's really starting to show its colors that I don't think Brad lost the offseason by any means. I don't particularly think they lost too much in terms of people that transferred away, and I'm a fan of most of the guys he brought in. But I don't think the quote unquote veterans that were brought in are bringing a ton to the table in terms of stuff.
I know. I know we've talked about him a lot, and we came to the conclusion that he just didn't fit on this team. But do you think they regret letting Coleman Hawkins walk?
Yeah. I think they did from the beginning.
I forgot who tweeted it. Someone tweeted about...
I felt that way from
the field pass. It was the field pass on the Illini Board podcast network. Coleman Hawkins and Luke Goody would not let this skid happen, is what they said. They called it a skid. They would not let this losing 5 out of 7, 5 out of 8. They wouldn't let it happen. Now, like I said, where does Coleman fit on this team? I don't think you probably don't get a Ivicic if you have Coleman Hawkins.
Why not?
Don't get. I mean, where do the minutes go?
Like Ben Humrichous.
Humrichous would be the one. Yeah.
I mean, Coleman's your 4 and Tommy's your 5. I mean, Coleman would have killed to play with a 5. That was his thing from the beginning. And I don't know how it all would have actually shaken out. I mean, Ben transferred in fairly early. But those are his minutes. That is Coleman's spot. Nothing against Ben. Ben tonight was good. He hit shots. He played decent enough defense. He got rebounds. He played tough tonight. Ben Humrichous was not the issue tonight, but that's Coleman's spot. And I would have no issues at any point, swapping those two. I just wouldn't, the Goody thing, whatever. I don't know exactly where his spot on the team is. But Coleman's, that's easy.
That's true.
It means less minutes for Morez, but they would still find ways to get him in the game. I wouldn't doubt that.
There was what else you got? Another one I got pinned here. From Kyler. It was early. I don't know if Kyler's still in here. Top 10 paid coach, top 10 NIL, win every other game. Tyler Underwood, Hamer, and Quay Jones need to be gone or Brad will not retire here. I'm starting to come around to that. I'm not out on Brad. I love Brad. I don't want Brad to go anywhere, but he has to improve his assistant coaching pool. Has to happen.
Yes.
And I don't know that what we're seeing now is because Chester Frazier and because Tim Anderson are gone. I don't know if they made that much of an impact, but Brad needs more X's and O's.
Correct.
Tyler, Zach, and Quay, I'm sure you're great, but it's not translating. Something needs to change on the assistant coaching staff.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know. I'm not privy to those inner workings. Chester maybe, but you got a pretty good coach in his place. The TA thing happened pretty late in the game. Yeah. Again, I don't know what role he had when it came to that stuff. So that was the one that it was really difficult to replace at that point. You kind of just had to promote from within. I can't imagine that Quay Jones is going to be the number 3 assistant next year. I don't know what will happen with Tyler and with Zach Hamer. I have no idea, but I'm going to guess, not that Quay Jones is, they don't want to be a part of the staff, but that's the spot that you had, was supposed to be an experienced assistant coach, and you found out a month before the season that person wasn't going to be with you. So, but I agree. I think changes certainly need to be made, and I'm not in any sort of, I'm out on Brad camp. I'm far from there, but the X's and O's certainly do need to be figured out. But I mean, they've figured this stuff out in the past. I mean, they adapted last year. They've adapted pretty well from an offensive standpoint to the roster. So, whether or not, I don't know what role Tyler really has when it comes to that stuff. But this coaching staff has been pretty good about being able to adapt to the roster that you have and play to your strengths. This year, I'm just not exactly sure they've totally figured that out. Plus, you throw in all these stuff they've dealt with over the course of the last few weeks with all the freshmen and young players and lack of experience. There's just a lot of factors that go in here. This team is super talented, but obviously we've seen it January, just something is not clicking. So
yeah, I mean, he said it from the get-go, and I believe this is the way he built the roster last year was, I want positionless. I want anyone can shoot the 3 at any point. This team can't shoot. They just missed. I mean, the coaches missed on the evaluations as much as these players are missing these threes. Like, it just, is there I would call Jake Davis a good shooter. I would call Ben Humrichous a good shooter. I don't know that there's any more on their team. And it sounded like they had 7 of them in the preseason.
Yeah.
Brad was talking about how everyone can step out and make a 3 except for
they can.
Morez.
They can.
I can make a 3.
But that's the thing. That there's a difference between being good shooters and being capable shooters. Exactly. This team is full of capable shooters. KJ, Kylan, Tommy. These are all capable shooters. Dre can hit a shot from time to time.
Yeah, I trust Dre with the 3.
But there are capable shooters, but I wouldn't call them good shooters.
Yeah.
And even the 2 that you're referring to as good shooters have missed a lot more than they've made throughout the course of this season. So Will Riley is a scorer. Will Riley can score from anywhere on the basketball court, but he still comes with his own set of freshman warts. So no, I do not think this team is as good of a 3-point shooter as we were led to believe they were coming into the season. Capable shooters, yes. Good shooters, no.
I found a tweet about right when we started from Dave Wisnowski, which anyone in Champaign I think knows Dave Wisnowski. I chuckled when I saw it. He said Ty Rodgers would be the best shooter on this team right now. He's probably not wrong.
Yeah, he might have figured it out by now. Maybe he's made a couple threes in practice.
I'm sure he has. There's video
the shooting's been a big issue. They're one of the worst shooting teams now in the country. They're in the bottom 60, they're in the 300s now. Yeah. It's atrocious. I don't know at this point what you do. You either just have to totally revamp. They've done it in the past, but this is pretty late in the game to really revamp. I mean, last year they shifted into the booty ball thing, but that was earlier. I don't know what changes you make now. Whatever changes they made to start the second half against Ohio State were great. So I don't know. I'm not sure what you do now. There are several things that can be done, but how much of them could actually be done in the next month, I don't know.
You mentioned booty ball.
Yes, I did.
Marcus Damask leaving his G League team, leaving the Windy City Bulls to go over to Germany to play, which I don't think is a surprise. I don't think the G League's a very sustainable model for someone trying to make a living, but
correct.
Would have been nice to see him with the Bulls probably selling today and probably tomorrow. Would have been nice to see him stick. Maybe he would have got least a 10-day or something. But yeah, he's going to Germany. Was the offense in the first half the worst of the season?
We've had some pretty bad halves of basketball.
I mean,
it probably, yeah. I mean, they weren't taking bad shots. They just weren't making shots, and they're taking too many 3-pointers. So, yeah, it's probably certainly in the conversation. I mean, the rack is a tough place to play. Well advertised. Teams don't win there. However, this is Rutgers' first win against a ranked opponent. This is a Rutgers team that, outside of their 2 freshman All-Americans, aren't very good and don't have a lot of talent or depth. This is a team that has a head coach that's probably on the hot seat, despite being able to bring in top-tier talent, which I still don't totally understand. Go on.
2 things.
Great.
1, I have said on record, I feel like I've been bragging all season about, I've gone to these places. The Rack is the best Big Ten place that I went. The Rack, Mackey, been to Breslin, been to Welsh Ryan. I think I've probably been to about half of the old Big Ten, obviously not the new. And the Rack blew all of them out of the water. Mackey was second. I had one of my buddies who's not an Illinois fan texting me about the game tonight. And I said, it is a dump. I will say that. It's not a nice arena. But as far as college basketball atmospheres, it's awesome. Fans are right on top of you. They're loud. It's an old school it's a glorified old high school vibe. And it was awesome.
That's how I felt about Penn State. Going to watch football at Penn State. But go on.
Penn State basketball is by far the worst place that I've been. Bryce Jordan was terrible. And 2, you mentioned Pikel on the hot seat. Is he the worst coach in the Big Ten? Because how is he 11-11 with those 2 guys? He should be leading the Big Ten. Those guys are incredible.
Yeah, they're really good. The 2 of them.
How are they 11-11?
I don't know.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. No idea. What else? I've seen a few more chat things come across here. Do you have any?
Yeah, which one do you want to throw up there?
Whatever.
I don't know that I agree with this. More from
take
Kyler.
Away a generational run by TSJ and Brad's seat would be very hot. I disagree.
I wouldn't call last year a generational run.
I don't know how you get a hot seat after the run he went on with Io and Kofi. No. I disagree. I think could be slightly warm, but at most, I would say. He's had some pretty good players come through the program. They've done a pretty good job with him. Per ESPN, we were 317th in 3-point before tonight. Are they truly great shooters in practice, but can't do it in games? We keep hearing they're elite shooters. I don't think they're actually elite shooters. I think a couple of them could be. I don't think the rest of them are elite shooters. I don't think Kylan Boswell is an elite shooter. I don't think Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn's an elite shooter. I think for a 7-foot center, I think Tommy's probably an elite shooter. Mm-hmm. But that's relative to the position that he actually plays.
What is Jake Davis shooting from 3? I feel like he's our best true shooter.
I feel like even he's struggled.
And that's why I'm asking, what do you think he is from 3, or what is he from 3?
I don't know.
Let's see. I don't think this is updated. 14 of 43, 32.6%. So even he is less than 1. He makes less than 1 out of 3.
Yeah. When was that of? I have it updated as of today.
I just went to his ESPN page. I don't know if that's updated with tonight's game or
not. He is, 31%.
So
32%. 31.8 or whatever.
Best 3-point shooter on this team is Casper Siakachonis, 35%. Correct. Thomas Slav's 34.5. Ben is 34.7. Will is 33.
Yep.
Jake is 32. No one else above 30. And even 30, that's not very good.
Yeah, no, they're not elite. It's not an elite shooting team. Capable, good at times, but not
Kylan is
elite.
24.2% from 3.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. Kylan's best offense is under the basket, which isn't good when you're 6
And he
foot
can't
tall.
make a layup.
No. I like Kylan. I really do. But that's not his game. So
Kylan Boswell has made 6 threes since the Oregon game. 6 total threes since the Oregon game. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 games. He has made 6. Let me do some quick math here.
Oh, great. Craig's Math Corner.
And he shot 36. He's 6 of 36 since Oregon.
Yeah. Not great, Bob. Not great.
More math. Hold on.
Oh, you're still doing math. Okay. I'll wait.
That's 17%. Is that good?
No, it's not. It's not good in anything. What else should we talk about? Do you have other comments you want to bring up here? Do you have other things you want to talk about? Any peak by Cabo? We are far from peaking by Cabo.
Who said that?
No, I did.
Oh,
I literally just said it.
No.
I saw a few. I saw.
Okay. Let me know.
Wally was talking about the on-court leader, lacking a leader on the team.
Yep.
I agree. I think the best leader on this team is in street clothes on the bench. And, what team also didn't have a leader? 2022, 2023. Just saying. Just saying.
Every time you say that, or we think of that year, I think of one person. So I got to go back and look at the roster of who was on that team.
It was him. It was TJ. It was Sky. It was Jaden. It was Coleman.
You can't go back on ESPN? What? Sorry.
It was.
I mean, Luke would have been there.
And Ty. Not Ty. Ty.
Yeah, Ty was there.
RJ.
His freshman year.
RJ. Like, it just. I mean, we were all in on.
Terrence Shannon, Sincere Harris.
Sincere.
You missed one.
Which one?
One that I believe we kind of loved. Jaden Epps.
Yeah, I said him, but that's
okay.
Yeah.
Epps,
I said him.
Goody, Moretti,
Nico.
Melendez, Rogers, Meyer, Hawkins, and Dane Danger.
That team, we were all in on the 2 big transfers and the 2 big freshmen.
Yeah.
And we saw where that got us. Again, I'm not saying it's the same thing, but like that team was playing for a year later, and I think this is what this year's team is playing for as well. All right, a few more comments, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see. I don't know.
There's some negativity in here.
Yeah, of course. They just lost, Craig. Will this team win another game this year? Yes. I'll take the over-under on yes.
On 0.5 wins.
Yes, they will win a game. I think they'll win a few more. Just not enough to appease the fan base.
Brandon's
is Brad ready for Miami? Yeah. Is that a better job?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't think Texas is either.
No. Would he take either of those if presented to him, despite it not being a better job?
That's what I was just going to say. There are only a select few of jobs I think Brad would leave Illinois for. And one of them is going to open. So,
if it's not this year, it'll be next year.
Yeah. I think it'll open this year.
I think it will too.
I don't think they can bring him back.
They're really bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think for Brad to leave, you're getting into that list of blue bloods.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's many that he would. Leave for.
I don't think he's going to leave, but that's just me. But I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that want him gone because
Kyler's saying Texas would pony up. Illinois would pony up. I don't think Josh, unless something goes haywire this final month, I don't think Josh is letting Brad leave. I think Josh might need to have to worry about his women's coach leaving for another job.
Correct. She'll be gone.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure he'll be ready to pony up.
Yeah, I don't think he can do anything about that one.
No, I think that is much more worrisome to him than Brad. But who knows? Who knows? This season's not exactly going well anyway. So will the top dogs be calling Brad? I don't know. Time will tell.
What about this one?
Kansas State. I mean, that's the only one that's not a better job that he might say yes to.
Yeah.
So, I guess. I guess, yeah. If
I will say, if that job opens, I will nervously check Twitter 24/7 for any report that Brad is interested or even thinking about it.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see Kansas State being an option.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this one sucked. Really terrible first half.
Are we surprised?
Slightly better second half. No, I mean, it's
all.
a road game in the Big Ten at a really difficult place to play against two freshman All-American. They're not a very good team outside of that, but the way this Illinois team has played the last month, no, I was certainly
only
not
thing I'm surprised by was
this.
the start and getting down that early.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of this game was just horrible. Like I had no interest in watching the second half. And in fact, I wasn't even really paying attention. And then I looked up and it was like a 6-point game. Like,
yep.
Oh,
I did the same thing.
Well,
I started playing college football 25.
Things have improved. All right, that's it. We're going to move on. Next up, Illinois goes to Minnesota Saturday evening. I believe it's like a 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock something game Eastern time. Minnesota
Saturday night game. Yeah, 6 o'clock.
It's like
How
6
about
o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Central.
There's one afternoon game. Every other game the rest of the year is a night game.
Prime time, baby.
Is that a good thing?
What can we say about Minnesota? Minnesota is 12-11 on the season. They are 95 in the net, 91 in Ken Palm. So yeah, they're not great. Their last they have won 4 of their last 6. They beat Michigan, Iowa, Oregon.
Ranked teams at home.
They beat Michigan, Iowa, and Oregon. Lost to Michigan State and Washington, and then they just beat Penn State yesterday. So, on the road, never easy in Big Ten play, as we saw tonight. Is Minnesota a good team? No. Does that mean Illinois will beat them? No. Should they? Yes. Will they? I don't know. That's Saturday. Dawson Garcia, over under 25.5. Probably over. Although this Illinois team has a tendency to let the other guys beat them. Tonight that wasn't the case. Tonight it was the guys. One of them hadn't played for a couple games, but
someone should have rolled over his ankle the first 10 minutes of the game. This is a good point from Czar, I guess is how you say that. Landscape is so different now. I think a lot of coaches could succeed here. I would agree with that. You know, with the NIL and the backing that this program has, I would be more confident taking some unproven coach because you do have the resources to build a winner. So that, and we're very much talking hypotheticals here. Like, we're not expecting anything to happen, but when and if that time does come, that Illinois is back in the coaching market, I'm more confident that with things in place, they would be able to find someone that can do it.
Correct. Brad Underwood and Josh Whitman have put Illinois back to where they should have been the past 2 decades, where they weren't. Yeah. So a lot of really talented players have come through those doors the past few years. So yes, I do agree.
I don't even know why we're entertaining this, but I just love coaching searches. Chris Beard's not coming here to Illinois. I think Chris Beard might be up the road from me in Bloomington next season.
That's possible, yes.
Sean Miller might be a good fit there too, though. So
I don't think we need to worry about this. All right. Illinois, Minnesota, Saturday night. We'll maybe do a show. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah,
I'm proud of us for not ducking a loss, Logan. 2 in a row.
Here's the thing. For me, it's honestly not ducking a loss. It's at what point do I just stop watching? Do I stop caring? Like,
I ducked once.
Is it still expected? Like, obviously, people are here. People want to have these conversations. So, like, I'm happy to lead these discussions with the public. But like, is it really on me to like have to sit through this if I don't want to? Like, that's where I'm at. It's not ducking losses. It's like, I don't know. I could have done other things with my life tonight. Granted, they played a much better second half. It made it much more entertaining. But like, yeah, it's not. I don't think of it as ducking losses. It's more. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to put myself through it. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna wrap it up. Final from Piscataway, 82-73. Illinois falls again. Illinois is now, what do we say, 15-8 on the season.
Yeah.
What's their Big Ten record? I don't have that in front of me.
7-6.
7-6. I don't think the double bye is in play. However, Michigan State has lost twice, so there's that. But Purdue still right up there at the top. So no, at this point, Illinois is playing for the single bye in the Big Ten tournament. And now that I've been saying it for weeks, you have pretty much entered the gauntlet of the schedule. So if you had enough trouble with the January schedule, good luck with the February one.
We didn't even mention that Tommy rolled his ankle, so
I did.
Who knows what's going to happen there?
You keep doing this thing where you like don't listen to me when I'm talking. I did mention Trey White. I did mention Jaden Epps. I did mention Tommy rolling his ankle. You're just not listening to me.
I have too many windows open.
I know. We need a producer. If you're interested in producing our show for no money, call
Still
me.
accepting applications for producers or sponsors. We'll take sponsors too if you want to sponsor us.
For Craig, I'm Logan. We're going to call it an